crazy whirlwind of capitalism. So yeah.
And so, Donan, what do you think of the course in terms of the audience it reaches to?
Yeah. One great thing I liked about the course is that it reached out to people who didn't know about colonization, possibly, and they learned a fair bit, and that is always key. That's always key to decolonization, is just bringing awareness to the terrible things that happened. But in terms of students who are actually there to get prepared to teach Native studies, probably not that many. I don't know for sure, but I only met about 2 out of the 40. So it's just like, whoa. But whatever, So yeah.
And what do you think of the course overall?
Overall, it was great. I felt I should have spoken up a bit more about the negative things happening. There's like a lot of things in my life I tend to quell the negative as opposed to accepting it. Because, I don't want to be a person who's always talking about negative stuff, but it's important to bring them up when it's appropriate. Like, I did bring stuff up, but I don't know, I could have said more. But, in terms of the course functioning, it functioned. And I guess I could talk about the negative stuff as well, but, don't get me wrong, it was fun. But, like, negative stuff, I guess this would have been... Well, it's a problem too, right? Because I'm kind of like a anti-authoritarian. So it's kind of my responsibility to call out people on their ridiculous acts. So I can't really hold Nicole responsible following my morals. But, So I should have said, and I had been saying to students who I meet in the streets these days about their act of colonization, but I feel I could have been more adamant when that happened, more aggressive, just to really enforce the point as to what they did. But in terms of people making violence, be it physical or mental, I don't know. I have no idea what the context is of the violence, but if it can be avoided, I could have done some intervention stuff. Like I could have removed the golf club as opposed to watching it swing. So yeah. Anyhow, that's all.
And do you have any last comments?
Yeah. I definitely feel a better opinion about education, my education experience has been mainly with Trent Queen's concurrent ed, and it's just so much, I don't want to call it harassment, but I don't know. It's a lot of to-dos and a lot of following orders, and it's like continuous. It's not even like a crazy conservative OCD environment. Like, they're pretty lenient, but I don't know. I've functioned in much worse conservative environments, and I can't even label them as anything. It's just, I don't feel comfortable, that's for sure. I definitely felt really happy to find education in a different perspective, as opposed to the one that is presented to me through Trent Queen's bureaucracy. Bureaucracy was the problem I had mostly with the Trent Queen's bureaucratic stuff. And so overall, or last words, I'd just say I really enjoyed the perspective it gave. Like the flow, the lots of freedom with regards to, like, ridiculousness. Sort of with limits at ridiculousness, but, just a really enjoyable course in those terms of freedom and flow. So yeah.
Do you really think it's the course itself, or, I mean, like, in comparing it to, like, Trent Queen's education, like, if Queen's had an Indigenous curriculum course, like, I don't know. You can cut that part out. I was just saying, like, to compare one course to, like, a whole program, because the Trent Queen's is sort of like a whole never mind.
No, yeah, that's a good question.
I guess you could just maybe make it more clear of, like, what you mean by the course itself compared to the whole within the program. Never mind. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Trent Queen's concurrent education. What is it? Trent Queen's concurrent education is like a student undergraduate at Trent, be it a degree in science or arts, and they dabble in some education courses and some experience in the place in the field, and then they go to Queen's for Teachers College with, like, a kind of, you already have a spot in Teachers College, but maybe not if you aren't up to Queen's standards, but, like, it's better than applying to Teachers College without the Con Ed background. Like, you have a better chance. And also a lot less money. But, the program in itself is that. And my opinion of it so far is they definitely are very, like, they have their way of doing things, and to even step outside of that just a little bit, like, you're still keeping one foot in because you want to be part of the program, but just step outside a little bit and just do, like, something that they haven't considered, or something they have considered and just have denied it without allowance to discuss it. Like, they've already have it written in some paper and they just don't allow discussion to occur. So that's something and that's like all bureaucracy is, like, to challenge authority, to challenge what has already been decided, and not be able to challenge it, just simply get a non-response or get a response to not commit that act. I feel is pretty evident in a lot of bureaucracies and this entire system itself. But I don't like that specifically within Trent because it's pretty everywhere. So not Trent, but Trent Queen's Con Ed. So yeah. And that is about Trent Queen's, at least within the people I've met within the program. Shouldn't generalize. So yeah.
So, alright, thank you for listening to Partly Political Radio. Next week we have Donan back to discuss his current work in the disclosure of an extraterrestrial presence on planet Earth and their effect in current politics and the economy.